That's why they have so much so, Bulacan pa yun eh. Before Pampanga, exit na siya.
Good evening. Dinner will be served first. And after the dinner, I will be requesting the member of the press to please identify yourself first before. Thank you. Dinner. So shall we start with our press conference? Gaya kanina.
Good evening. My name is Manny Galvez from Philippine Star. I'm directing my question to Ma'am Terminator 2. Frank Wisner this morning, which appeared in the newspapers, purporting that the U.S. wants there will be another coup d'etat to be perpetrated by the army after the May 11 general elections. Now my question is a pressure or a sort of meddling or intervention on the part of the U.S. in our national affairs, considering that it is some sort of a threat that the Americans are alienating us from them.
First of all, before I answer the question, please let me introduce the gentleman seated at the table with me. We have a former Undersecretary of Defense Fortunato Abad will introduce them.
The one on the rightmost on the table here is Commodore Dante Q. de Guzman. Next to him is Brigadier General Renato Icarno. Next is Attorney Mario Reyes. Next, another lawyer, Attorney Chris Abasolo. And another lawyer, a poor lawyer, Attorney Al Omali. Mr. Tony Policarpo. The next is Attorney Jose Cordova. Next to him is Brigadier General Jaime Villartas. And the next is Brigadier General Domenico Casas. I am General Fortunato Abad. And on the right, of course, we have our Vice Presidential candidate, Ramon Magsaysay Jr.
There are about 12 of us from the PRP tonight, so I took the other gentlemen so that way each one of us gets to participate in the conference. The statement of the U.S. Ambassador that the U.S. will stop all financial aid and assistance to the Philippines if there is one more coup d'etat attempt after the May 11 elections. Does that statement constitute unlawful interference in the domestic affairs of the Philippines? True and factual narrative of what the ambassador said. Assuming that that is his statement, my answer to the question is no. It is not interference. Under the Charter of the United Nations, interference in the domestic affairs of any state is prohibited. Thus, lawyers of international law spend one entire course in graduate school simply defining the term interference as it is technically defined in international law. That statement is more properly viewed as an...
Si Remy Payawal, Editor-in-Chief, La Vista Bulletin, a local paper circulating in the province of Nueva Ecija. Yung pong magsasaka, hindi po problema po ng magsasaka dahil mababa po ang presyo ng kanilang mga produkto. Ang presyo ng kamatis dito, 2 piso isang kilo, ang talong 2 piso. Yan po panghabang panahong problema at kung darating ang eleksyon, nangangako ang mga politiko.
Sa nakikita ko, ang kailangan natin dito yung distribution network. sapagkat yung mga vegetables and foodstuff ninyo ay perishable. Kaya ito sa Pangasinan, meron silang San Carlos processing ng tomato paste. And this is one way for us to maintain higher selling prices for our tomatoes. Kaya I think a very good operative marketing outfit, which is privately owned, can be put together.
President ng Ecija Press Club, and at the same time, respondent ng balita in Ecija. Yung sunod na presidente ng Republika ng Pilipinas. Nang hindi naman makapipinsala sa ating ekonomiya at kung paano maiwasan ang pag-utang ng mali na nakapinsalang pa sa ating pinagkakabuhayan.
You asked, how can we avoid foreign debt in the future? The only way we can do this is if we are able to effect a turnaround in our trade. Situation obtained in only 3 out of the 46 years since independence. No wonder we had to borrow money. Because when we question is, how do you propose to pay the interest on the foreign debt such that it will not unnecessarily prejudice the local claim that these debts must be restructured because there is simply no money in the present economy to pay for them. And so we have no choice. We will have to renegotiate each and every one of these debts so that we can be given a longer period of payment and, if possible, a lower interest rate. And corollary to this, I would like to put on record that I am in favor of the proposal of Professor Jeffrey Sachs of Harvard University, who has produced a document which is meant to help all third world countries to pay off their foreign debts. In short, Professor Sachs proposes what he calls an international debt facility, under which underdeveloped countries like the Philippines can avail of a restructuring program that will allow us to pay our foreign debts for a period of 30 years at extremely low interest rates of 4%. But in addition to these, to answer these two questions together, my advocacy is this: if we can only return political stability to our country and stop graft and corruption, the economy will almost automatically repair itself because the free enterprise system is a self-healing and virtually autonomous process. We don't even have to